So I've started making a bunch of different kinds of trees in that like procedural tree generator thing. And so the topic of this one is super simple. It's how to make a palm tree in like 2 minutes. So let's just get into it. So to get started, you're going to right click in the hierarchy and create a 3D tree. First thing on this tree creator is I'm going to go ahead and select this very first branch. And for this tree right here, like it's sloping a little bit too much. I feel like palm trees kind of maintain their radius. So I'm going to go to radius, this little curve here. Let's add a point in the middle and kind of drag it up. You can mess with these curve handles just so that it maintains its like thickness just about all the way throughout. Looking at this right here, I'm just going to give it like a tiny bump up in crinkliness, 0.1, maybe like 0.13, just a little extra, 4.15, just to give it a little something. And then down at the bottom, some palm trees have like a little bit of a flare going on down there. So I'm just going to give it a bump up in flare radius, 1.5, 1.3, something like that. So you can see at the bottom, it's got just that little bit of pooch. And we could increase the flare height. So that's like how high up on it goes. I mean, depends on which tree you're modeling. I'm going to keep it kind of at the bottom there. So for this, I'm going to import a palm tree bark texture that I found. So you can screenshot this if you find this texture useful or find your own. And on this texture, I'm going to set its wrap mode to mirror so that we don't see the hard edges as the texture is repeating around our tree. And I'm actually going to also duplicate this and make a height map. So I'm going to hit Command D to duplicate this. And on the duplicated one, I'm going to open this guy up, go to color, saturation is down. The levels are a little closer together. Something like that, so it's a little more gray across the way. Sweet. And that could be our height map. And just like you've seen, I'm going to Google normal map online. That's this right here. And I'm going to drag and drop the height map into this area here and generate a normal map, which I'm just going to use the default. You could mess with it a little bit. That's good for me. Download. Beautiful. And drag that downloaded normal map into here. Gorgeous. Now let's make a material super quick. Right click, create a material. Here I'm going to call it palm bark _ mat. And because this material is going on a tree, the shader, we need to look up bark. I'm going to use tree creator bark. There you go. So it's looking for a base RGB, which is going to be the colorful palm tree bark. And it's looking for the normal map that we just made. Boom. Fix now. So now on the tree where it's looking for a branch material, we can find the palm bark branch material. Beautiful. There it is. Okay. Now let's just add our leaves real quick. So to add a leaf group, it's a teeny tiny little leaf button right here. It will distribute the leaves automatically throughout the entire branch, which is not what we want. We want the distribution of these leaves to be only pretty much at the top. So I'm adjusting this curve so that it's kind of all the way up here. There it is, our one leaf. And the frequency, how many leaves do we want? Maybe like 10 leaves. Cool. And the distribution, so when you're taking a look at it from the top view, you can look at the distribution of like alternate, you can look at it opposite, but for this one, I'm going to do whirled. Twirl just sort of twirls it around. I don't know if we need that. The growth scale, I could turn it down a little bit so that they get a little bit bigger near the top where they are. The growth angle, that's the angle that it'll be. Maybe I want these to sort of angle down just a little bit, like it ends down in the middle. And let's put that all the way. 1, cool. These are kind of hilariously small. So let's set the size to be a little bit bigger. Sweet, cool. And now we need a texture for this. So I'm gonna import this frond texture that I found. It looks kind of like this. If you like it, you can screenshot this and use it in your project as well. For this texture, because it's on a black background, the alpha source we're gonna do from grayscale, and alpha is transparency, and hit apply. And let's make a material for it. So in our materials folder, we're gonna create a new material. We're gonna call this palm leaf _ mat. And same thing, because this is a tree that we're making, we do need to look for the tree creator leaves. There's 3 options. I think I'll just use the regular leaves. Or maybe because it's just got so many, let's use the leaves fast. Perfect. So I'm gonna find that frond texture. There we go, palm frond. The main color is white. Let's go ahead and make that maybe a little bit more green. Sweet. And on our tree, on the leaves group, where it's looking for a material, go ahead and add the palm leaves. Cool. And I might mess with the size just a little bit more. And then lastly, this perpendicular and horizontal align. So you can sort of play with these a little bit. Maybe for horizontal, let's do around 0.5, and for perpendicular, around like a 0.2, somewhere in there. All right, cool. Sweet. I would call this kind of good enough. At this point, you have a basic palm tree that you can now spawn all over your game. Hopefully you found this helpful, and good job today. and I will see you in the next one.